I think they've switched. I think they've switched servers again for this game, so we shall have spawning up to our northern position here as our purple Zerg. She goes by the name of AcerScarlett.
Yep, and her opponent for I am to the bottom right using the tag I am random is Nestea.
Doing pretty well for himself recently. I've actually been astonished by his level of play as of late. As you pointed out at the very beginning of this this series of casts, the fact that he disappeared for a long time. You assumed he was moving into a coach role. I assumed partially we'd just seen the last of him at that super tip-top level, but he is literally back with a vengeance. It's so.
It's awesome to see. It really is. I'm just even speechless, you know, whenever I talk about this, because if you consider how old he is as well, he's one of the oldest programmers we have, and just he does not stop. We talked about this interview earlier as well, where he talked about just non-stop playing sometimes, but he's going to have to micro his heart out here against what Scarlett's doing. Scarlett's going for an early pool and taking gas. She's going to be doing that build we've seen Donrigu and Lenok do quite often in this matchup.
Oh, actually, yeah, you're right. This is pretty scary to deal with. Now, well, when you're saying Donrigu and Lenok's build, are you on about the Banelings or are you on about the Zerglings with speed? Which one?
Usually the Banelings.
Right, okay. Because sometimes there is the Speedling all-in, which... Again, it leaves you in a more economically better standing, but the Baneling one is so effective, and you're right, it is going to be that. So this is scary to deal with, because 9 times out of 10, your opponent is, well, Nestea in this situation is not going to have his Baneling nest down in time, and dealing with Zergling and Baneling when you only have Zerglings is quite tiring.
Yeah, it really is. Nestea has been known to get tired before, but at this point, he is going for a pool before hatchery, so he has a decent chance of holding this. I'm talking about going for the one without the Baneling nest. Of course, the reason why that one is usually not as popular, just so people don't get confused, is of course because with only Speedlings, it takes a lot longer to get Zergling speed out than to get the Baneling nest out, and then your opponent, if he scouts you, will actually just be able to counter you. You can see that Nestea does cancel hatchery right away.
It's a clever thing to do. He will push back the Zerglings for now, but he still has to be extremely wary of the eventualities that can occur from these Banelings. He actually sees the Banelings now morphing in, so he's extra wary of exactly what's going on. Throwing down a few spine crawlers in his main, trying to keep himself sturdy and stable here. And, I mean, this gives Scarlett the opportunity to, if she wants to, drone up and just get her own hatchery down as well. Just try and take a little bit of an advantage off any attempt at damage that she can try and do here.
Yeah, you're right. And if she doesn't do that fairly soon, she's going to find herself really behind, because I think Nestea is going to be able to defend this as long as he pulls his drones, which so far, not the best pull we've ever seen. 5 harvesters killed. Yeah. And that was a pretty intense little engagement there. Scarlett gets a little bit done. They're both on 9 drones and both on 1 hatch. And the one advantage Nestea really has over Scarlett, though, is that he has a queen. He has a second queen coming out. Scarlett, on the other hand, has neither.
Yeah, she's actually still producing Zerglings here. Well, I mean, these are obviously for the defense of the Zerglings that were on the way here for Nestea. But Nestea, you're right. Nestea, I think, still comes out of this way on top because of those 2 queens that are out and about. Because actually, he has spine crawlers that, when he establishes a natural, he doesn't have to produce extra spine crawlers, right? They're already there, they're already present. Whereas Scarlett will have to try and, you know, wiggle that defense around once she wants to go for an expansion, if it even gets to that point, of course.
Yeah, and I mean, just this position for Nestea with his spine crawlers at the top of the ramp is not something that I feel like Scarlett is going to be able to touch, but she can keep Nestea in his main base a little bit with this type of pressure. Scarlett, on the other hand, still hasn't taken her hatchery. This is starting to get a little bit, just, you know, it's a little bit weird, this game that we're watching right now, where we're watching heavy one base against heavy one base.
This is a previous metagame. This is Scarlett saying we're going to take it old school, and I think that, well, she's got speed finishing up, but as is Nestea is going to finish up in just a second, trying to exploit the fact that that spine crawler was uprooted and trying to find our opening, but there's still a second one. She could actually catch the queen here, which would be a nice pickoff, but the Zergling's easily going to prevent that. One Baneling trying to connect with those Zerglings, but doesn't in the end. And
yeah, that could have been tragic if that Baneling hit there.
Yeah.
Nestea with the creep spread down the ramp. His hatchery, though, is delayed, and that's exactly what Scarlett was trying to accomplish with that Ling pressure. Keep Nestea in his main. Nestea had to turtle at the top of his ramp with 2 spine crawlers, like you said, taking us back in time to 2010. A time where, ironically, Nestea was extremely dominant. So we'll see how he goes forward here into this rest of this game. Scarlett with another wave of Zerglings, though. She is not going to stop the pressure.
It's a good point that you actually bring up, though. I mean, Nestea in that era was so strong, so ridiculously competent at actually dealing with that. Then trying to go against Nestea with that kind of style, I don't think it works. And we've just seen there, here in game number 3, that it's not going to have a chance.
You know, Nestea is never hesitant to throw down those spines. As soon as he saw the Lings coming, he made 2 spines just in case, before he even saw that there was a gas, that he was going to face that one base Baneling Ling aggression, which is actually normally an all-in. And Scarlett did enough damage to where we actually have a transition out of it for both players. This game is so weird in every way. Now Scarlett getting into second clean out. She's been a little bit behind in production for a while.
Yeah, that was one Baneling connection there as well. Very nicely done by T. Slight miscontrol by Scarlett in essence. But apart from that, for now, you're right. Just kind of stabilizing. Although Nestea is producing quite a few roaches here. 8 in total, while Scarlett rockets up to Leia. She could actually be caught with her pants down here in essence, because these roaches hit a really, really nice timing where Scarlett, I'm under the impression, might just be rushing straight to some kind of Spire play.
Yeah, Spire play would be actually, I think, the perfect choice normally, but she has to be able to set up the defense. One thing that she's not doing that we saw, for example, Life do in the last series, the last CVZ, was make 3 spine crawlers when he goes for his lair just to be safe against anything. And now Scarlett adds the additional spines, going now not into 3, but into 5, but very, very late. Even a 6 spine crawler started. Nestea might be able to just end things here because the spines are not quite ready. It depends on whether or not he makes more Banelings or if he goes for the attack right away.
And this Ling Baneling Roach aggression here from Nestea. I mean, look at the supply differences right now. He is dwarfing Scarlett in terms of an army count. It's going to be up to these spines to hold it, and Nestea is pushing forwards. The great thing about this is, though, he could actually cross the T pretty effectively against these spines, engaging them at separate in times. Nice Baneling connections from Scarlett to kick things off, but will it be enough? I think it might be, actually, with the Zergling reinforcements.
Yeah, I actually agree that those Baneling hits really saved Scarlett here. Nestea's Baneling hits were actually pretty terrible. I mean, he traded really inefficiently with his Banes, and now Scarlett is going to be able to push this back. Nestea's still doing some damage, and like you said, he's got a massive supply lead, even still, up 20 supply here, and he takes out one of the queens. That's really, really important. The reason why Nestea was so ahead in supply was not simply because he macroed better, but the reason he was able to macro better is because he lost a queen. I mean, it's just physically impossible to keep up with a player who has 2 queens when you only have 1.
Yeah, I love the decision-making there from Nestea to actually circumvent those spines entirely, go up into the main, try and do some damage there. It was really, really good decision-making. And meanwhile, behind all this, he actually produced a good wave of Zerglings to deal with the defense, and he's still way up in terms of drones. So Nestea has actually allocated his minerals so well to not only the aggression, but also the economy. And now he's getting his layer. He's got 4 gas geysers up. And he could quite easily transition onto these, onto either Infestus or Spire, actually.
Yeah, and we're going to find out what his choice is. He goes Roach Speed, laying itself, of course, into Infestor Tech, and there's the Infestation Pit. Now, Scarlett has the much faster Infestors, already starting Pathogen Glands, now getting an Evolution Chamber to catch up with those upgrades as well. You can see Nestea with a faster +1. I feel like at this part of the game, though, Scarlett doesn't really have the ability to use her Infestor lead. What's she going to use it for? She can't hope to attack Nestea's 3rd on this map and save her Infestors and get out. It's just not going to happen. So even though Nestea's behind with his Infestors, I feel like he's still in a better position in this game.
Yeah, he is. He really is. Because now, I mean, he's grabbing his third while Scarlet is being prevented her third. And in ZVZ, getting that fifth and sixth gas geyser is so pivotal, especially when you're taking up to infestors and trying to go for that heavier gas composition in the infestors, hydras, and roaches. So Scarlet, unless you can break out of this specific situation, oh dear me.
Oh, wow. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
That was not good for Scarlet. That was a great Baneling hit, and ST was able to garner there. This is just getting more and more unfortunate for Scarlet. She had some early advantages, but even being able to deny Nestea's hatchery for such a long time, looked like she might be able to pull ahead, but it's just not so.
It's difficult. You can't find yourself in this situation. And Scarlet doesn't know anything about the third right now either. She doesn't have an overlord position to spot what will be going on. And the Zerglings are threatening these infestors that have to waddle back for dear life. Otherwise, they'd have to waste some very important fungals.
Yeah, you don't want to waste any fungals if you can help it, that is. Especially in a situation in this matchup where the infestor count matters so much going into the mid-game, and the infested Terran count is, I mean, I don't want to say it's more important because infested Terrans come out of infestors, but you got to be able to use as many infested Terrans as possible to take those engagements.
Yep, it's true. They act as not only a meat shield for a while, but also a very, very big buff in the DPS of that engagement. And with the Roach Warren now going down for Scarlet, this third is just becoming way too delayed, and Nestea's doing a great job of delaying it with just a handful of Zerglings where he may. And he's getting Burrow as well. If he gets Burrow out and manages to put a Zergling down in that location before Scarlet gets a chance to take base, that'll be really devastating.
Yeah, it really will. I mean, Scarlet needs to figure something out here, because if she just continues to let Nestea macro like he is, how is she going to be able to catch up? She's essentially saying, I'm behind and I have no choice but to keep being behind. With only taking this third base and not doing anything else to actually get ahead, her infestor lead is not enough. It's a 4 infestor lead. That's not going to be something that she can go into the mid game and say, well, I built up enough energy to where this is going to work out. Nestea is not even going to let her take this third base.
Yeah, he's doubled the supply up right now. Jeez, considering actually what happened in the first 8 or 9 minutes of this game, the speed and rapidity at which he actually got to 158 supply behind it is astounding. And Scarlet's just so pinned back. She's going for some burrowed shark infestor aggression, but I'm curious to where they're off to. I guess the third for some fungals or something.
Yeah, this infestor attack could change everything. He's going to go over with the infestors, try to kill the Zerglings of Nestea. If she can get in here, and with infested Terrans, either get the drones or the hatchery, could change everything. Nestea really has the first hard contain I've ever seen in ZVZ up on Scarlet.
Yeah,
here come those infestors.
Infested Terrans are on the way. Overstepped the mark when I was like, yeah, fungals, but Infested Terrans are way better in this situation indeed, as they could actually target down the hatchery, and that would be really good for Scarlet, but still, there's been an engagement going on in the middle of the map. So Infestors walk forwards, getting a few fungals, don't really get too much for their causes though. And again, Nestea, this constricting style, whilst Scarlet tries to sneak out a third base, that's really, really ballsy. But she has taken out the base of Nestea over at the third.
Yeah, taking out that base is something that helps Scarlet get into this game, because she didn't lose too much on the engagement that was at the third base of her, but she still can't get that third up if Nestea wants to go in there. Like you said, this is very ballsy. I can't imagine Nestea giving her that edge. He's going to kill these rocks, he's going to run up there, kill the hatchery. Scarlet is going to have to take extremely good engagements with perfect fungals to be able to fight against Nestea's army. She is down 70 supply at the 20-minute mark. Nestea double expands, getting ready with his Hydralisk now, getting that range upgrade.
Whilst we say it's a big risk, though, to take this expansion, it's a risk that actually, in this situation, Scarlet has to take. Nestea finds it now and kills it off, but if Scarlet hadn't have done that, then, I mean, she knows that she would always die in that situation anyway, so she tries to take that advantage, but it unfortunately gets crushed down by it, and Nestea is still in an amazing spot.
Yeah, Scarlet just, with every disadvantage here, really, stuck in her base. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but I literally have never seen a ZVZ contain before, and that's what we were seeing.
Well, it's pretty impressive. This concave that Nestea has set up is ridiculous. Scarlett's poking away with fungals and doing a really good job of it, but it's not going to be enough because Nestea has Burrow. He can easily regenerate these roaches super quickly underground, and all this energy that Scarlett's wasting, she just has to max out and try and bust out. But behind that, Nestea has a phenomenal incoming comparison eventually.
Yeah. You know, it's just... Nestea has... The reason why this game developed this way, I feel like, where we have this contain, is because Scarlett had all those spine crawlers earlier. She made 6, and then she has infestors on the high ground, so Nestea's like, do I really want to attack up into that? Not until I can remax instantly with a good economy. And Scarlett, on the other hand, still has those infestors roaming around the map. She could try to do something with them again. I'm a little bit surprised Nestea doesn't put up a spore crawler near some of his spines.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Spore Crawler would be so useful here. Scarlett's going to go for Tunneling Claws to try and bust out of this contain. And, I mean, Nestea is just going to get to the point where as soon as he establishes his 7th and 8th gas geyser, he can easily push with this army, go for the trades, and just remax behind it. And Scarlett's income is going to be waning so heavily very soon that it's looking bad for a foreign hope here in IronSquid, guys.
Yeah, not so good. I mean, even if Scarlett loses this game, she'll have another chance, but like you said, it's not looking good. Scarlett goes for Burrow movement, while Nestea goes for 13 additional spine crawlers here. Really wants to make sure that there's nothing that Scarlett can do to win this game. Hive as well. Spire, he's going to go into Broodlords and start to further his contain and just slowly but steadily push Scarlett down.
That was a really important pick off there from Scarlett just then. She killed the Overseer in front of her opponent's army, and by doing so, that alleviates a little bit of the disadvantage that she would accrue from trying to go for the burrowed movement tech. But well, Nestea moves straight in with another Overseer, so that's not going to give her an opportunity at all. But she's going to go for it, Wolf.
Yeah, she wants to. This is ballsy going forward here with the burrowed movement roaches. It's the only way to move out. Nestea, on the other hand, has that sick concave. Really good bundles by Scarlett, though. The Hydra's at the back for Nestea, doing a ton of extra damage. He's at 2-1. Scarlett, on the other hand, Carapace not done before she engaged. A bit of a mistake, I feel.
And the spine crawlers have actually waddled through, actually soaking a little bit of the damage during all of this, but Scarlett had a really nice concave setup position, along with the nice fungals that you pointed out before, and she is remaxing, well, swiftly with 25 roaches, but Nestea's going to have such formidable remaxing. He's getting a Greater Spire behind this. He's getting +3. This is Scarlett's time to go. If she does not kill Nestea right now, because of his phenomenal economy, she is dead and buried.
This is really awesome, what she's doing with her spine crawlers, though I like it, bringing the spine crawlers in because they have a lot of damage output. The problem is Nestea has so many more, and she's actually burrowing them too close to where Nestea has spines. That was a bit funny to watch. But she's going to actually be able to keep the drones from mining, and Nestea wants to get these Broodlords out, but Scarlett has an opportunity. She's not taking her third base at all. This is actually a 25-minute mark. She's about to mine out at her natural, so that she has to make this work. Now takes her third base, a little bit delayed.
Just a little. As this, I mean, the burrow movement sort of... I don't really know how that ended up working out there. Actually, yes, I do, because, you know, Nestea saw it a little bit of a lesser time than he would have done initially if he hadn't have had the vision in that specific spot with the Overseers. And, you know, he's found himself in an odd position, but still he has a huge advantage. He's getting 4 Corruptors out. He has an amazing defensive setup here with the concave of the Spines, Roaches, Infestors, and the Hydralisks. And he's even going for a bit of a counterattack with Roaches to kill off Scarlett's third.
And since he killed those rocks earlier, that was pretty easy to do. He forced the cancel. Scarlett trying to do anything she can to get back into this game, but she's about to face Broodlords. 2 Corruptors selected here, and there they go. 2 Broodlords morphing, a few more Corruptors going down. And Scarlett with no answer, no Spire, with no Corruptors and ZVZ to face Broodlords. She's not going to be able to kill those Hydras. Probably not with Infested Terrans either.
Yep. Even the Hydralisk potential that would have occurred. She just hasn't had the 5th and 6th gas geyser to really accrue any Hydralisk count, along with the Infestor count that she needed to actually break out of that hold. So all of these things working in massive tandem to put her in a terrible, terrible deficit. And Nestea I mean, all he has to do is defend. Scarlett has to make something happen, but she's not doing it right now.
Yeah, Scarlett is going to start to lose her spine crawlers here to the Broodlords. And seeing these Broodlords is going to freak her out. She's going to have to figure out what to do next. And without a third of base economy, it's so hard. She's long-distance mining gas. With only 3 harvesters, she should probably put like 12 harvesters in those gases if she's going to long-distance mine.
And we have a little bit of a roach burrow attack on the way here for Scarlett. Maybe she wants to pick off some of these infestors, and actually she will get a few of them. This is a really nice little move here by Scarlett to try and bring her back in. She actually could get all of the infestors here. Really well done.
Yeah, she's trying her hardest to figure this one out. Gets a decent trade there, but Nestea with just so much more money, so much more resources mined. I mean, if you look at the spending tab, I know this is hold that thought. We may have our final engagement. Scarlett backs off. Spending tab alone shows Nestea spending so many more resources over the total of this game just simply because he could.
Mm-hmm. And Scarlett, in the process of this game, has actually not utilized those 3 infestors anymore that she actually had up in the top right-hand corner. The Lynx go for a little bit of a run-by on Nestea's third and do a little bit of economical damage, but I don't think it's really going to be enough as Nestea still plows forward here with those Broodlords. Scarlett locks down a few of the Roaches in turn, but the Roaches trying to jump up and down at these Broodlords. Don't think they're going to get too much of an advantage there.
Yeah, I certainly don't think so. A lot of infested Terrans going down for Scarlett. They can shoot up at the air. Nestea, though, with a lot of army on the ground. Scarlett tries to push through here. This is actually a lot closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it really is.
Nestea's economy is in shambles. He's down to a very low harvester count.
Yeah, Nestea doesn't have any more economy whatsoever, really. I mean, he's mining 300 minerals at any given point in time, but the Broodlords, I feel, are still just too much. The Infested Terrans have expended, and now with these Broodlords, oh, there are a few more Infested Terrans below them, though. This is actually so close. This
is so close. Oh, my God. GG, but Scarlett could not do it, despite how close that was. But I'm inspired by how long Scarlett was able to stay on 2 bases